Hey. Hey everybody. Breezy and I are going to be making a makeup video for you. I'm going to try to go super fast and we're going to go through the hair and makeup for the competitive season for all dancers. So we made it as streamlined and as simple as possible this year. So I like to start off with my dancer in like a zip up top, because then when they get into their costume, they don't mess up their makeup and their hair. So she can just unzip this, and if she has a tank top on, it can just shimmy down and then she can get her costume on. So I would prefer everyone to do that. I think it's the easiest. The next thing you're gonna wanna do is make sure that the hair has barely any snarls. So Breezy did a great job at that. So typically at competition, I use a spray bottle. I don't have one today. I just have just a jar of water because we just kind of running by the seat of our pants here. But typically, what I would want everyone to do is to completely wet down the hair. So using a spray bottle or whatever technique you'd like to use, but we just wet down the entire hair. So this is key that you don't have your costume on, because I'm kind of dripping on her warm-up jacket a little bit. A little bit messy, but doing my best. This is key to get that look of that slickness, okay? Any of those fuzzies at the competition with the lights, you'll be able to see every fuzz in the hair that is not slicked back. So having this wet is super, super, super important. Okay, next what you're gonna wanna do, and I'm no expert, I'm just doing my best here, is you're gonna wanna make sure you have that center part. So it's right in the center of the head. I like to use a little comb here and just get that center part solidified. Does that look good, Breezy?
Yeah.
Okay, so then now that our hair is super, super wet, I probably could even go a little wetter if I wanted to. And I'm not too concerned about the ends of the hair. I'm just trying to get like the majority of like where it would be wispy, you know, these areas. Okay, now is the time when you use your gel. Use any gel you'd like. Okay, just hairspray alone isn't gonna work. You guys have to use a gel. That's gonna slick that hair back and make it like hard as a rock. So I'm really getting it in there. Even if your dancer has little wispies underneath their neck, it's good to get that back there. Now before the hair dries, now your dancer, this isn't gonna be the funnest part, okay? But we're getting the hair pulled back, and everyone's ponytail, turn your head to the side, B, needs to be even with the dancer's tops of ears. And you also need to use a hair binder that matches their hair color, okay? So what I'm gonna do is now I like to use these combs that have these extra little teeth on them, okay? But this is probably the least fun of the whole thing. If your eyes are gonna water, this is the time. Breezy's being super brave. It's key also right now to make sure that you do not lose the center part, because that's our hairstyle for the year. You doing okay, honey?
Yeah.
Okay. You're almost done. Okay, so it might take a while, and you might have to go back and wet some areas down to get it just right. You might realize you missed a spot, or you need a little bit more gel. That's the time. You don't want anything to look like it's falling out of place. So now the center part is strong, but towards the back of the center spot, depending on the child's head shape, put your head down. See, now I have to kind of disappear it, okay? If I want her pony to be even with the tops of her hair.
Yeah.
And of course, there's no pressure because I'm videotaping myself doing this, so I'm trying to be the best that I can be here for everybody. So keep the center part. It will kind of lose a little bit here because we're trying to get that pony at the top of the ears. To me, that looks good. Let's do a double check, Bree. Okay, that looks great. So now I'm gonna secure it with the ponytail that's the same color as the dancer's hair. If your dancer has super thick hair, I would recommend using 2 of these grippies. Hair things, you can also get these hair things that have rubber grippers inside of the elastic. These thin ones like this are not good, okay? You gotta use the thick ones that are really gonna hold their hair. And almost turn to the side, Breezy. See how it gives it just that little bit of volume, so it's not a floppy hair thing. But now is the time to just make sure everything looks wetted down. You could take your gel again and slick this more, but we just want this is where you check and make sure there is not one hair out of place. Okay, hairspray is not gonna do that for you. That wet is gonna do it. So now she is as slippery as a fish. And now my hands are as slippery as a fish. What am I gonna do with that? Okay, so now I'm just rubbing it in like lotion. Okay, so now is when we go into the hairspray, and you just should be super vigorous. I'm not with this video, just because we have other things we're doing today. So, but then we spray that. If you have tiny little bumps here and there, don't be picky about that. It's a center part, no wispies. So now for the back side, I just forgot to turn my hair straightener on, but you can see that Breezy's hair is very, very straight. Okay, it's a very straight styled hair. So even if your dancer's hair is stick straight or even stick straight like mine, okay, just so we're fair across the board, there's no curling this year. We're just gonna do straight. So if you have naturally curly hair, I apologize. But for all the years that people had straight hair that doesn't curl, they had to make it work too. I personally like to use a setting spray first. So it's like curl heat spray and then and straightening spray. So I usually will spray that first. And then obviously if you have naturally curly hair, this is gonna take a while. Literally I just plugged this in, but even if your hair is naturally straight, that doesn't mean you get a cop out. Everybody is running a straightener through their pony. Everyone. If you've got weird little short layers in your hair that maybe stick out down here, that's where you're gonna wanna put some bobby pins that match your dancer's hair color. We just want everything super slicked back, okay? And then this super sleek, okay? Just like that. Okay, so hopefully that's cut and dry. In the lookbook, there we are. In the lookbook, it'll say, you know, put the dancer's accessory on the right side of hair or on the right side of the pony, on the left side of the pony. Some of the things, it's pretty clear on where they go. Acro class has a hair, Acro, World of Hearts Acro has a hair fabric that will go, you'll loop it underneath their hair tie and then tie it on. I talked to the girls about that. I don't really think anyone else has any other hair accessories. It's just gonna be clipped. It'll say on what side of the dancer's head that will go on. So now we're gonna move on to makeup.
Yep.
So, obviously, if you have like a certain regiment that you like to do, you should totally do that. I'm just gonna do like the meat and potatoes. I think that using a primer helps with just keeping the makeup on for the competition, especially when the girls are getting sweaty. So just use any brand that you like. I just use for her, I just put a primer over her whole face and her lids, but they actually make lid primer, face primer, whatever. But I highly recommend a primer, especially because some of the makeup that I did choose is very cost effective. So when you put your eyeshadow on, it's probably gonna dust underneath. But if you have a nice eye primer on, it probably won't do that. So here's my primer. And I'm gonna do my best to be fast at this too. Okay, we're just gonna put it on everywhere, let it soak in. I'm not a makeup expert. I'm a better choreographer than a makeup expert. So, we have her primer on. I'm just gonna let that sit for a second. Next, you're gonna choose your foundation. Obviously, you want to match your foundation to your skin tone. So I'm not gonna be picky about your foundation. If you like to use a powder, use a powder. If you like to use a liquid, use a liquid. Of course, like none's coming out. Looks like we need to pass some more. If you like to conceal certain areas or underneath eyes or whatever, you can totally do that. Typically, I'll use one of my little sponges for this.
Spongy, spongy, sponge.
Okay. So, try not to cover her while I do this for everybody. And this is a great time if you're seeing those wispies come through again. Wet it down, gel it down, spray it down. Okay? So, she's set here. All right, so next we move to our eyeshadow. I personally don't like to use the little brushes that they come with. I don't like to use those. I like to use an eyeshadow brush, but that's totally a personal preference. So you're gonna cover the lid with your lighter color, your linen color. Now, again, if you find a color that is like this and you don't wanna use the brand that I chose, that is totally okay. What we're going for, whoops, Mama stubbed her toe. What we're going for is a close your eyes. Covering her lid with this lighter shade, okay? So I'm just gonna do the entire lid because we're gonna go back in, and I'm actually gonna go all the way, I think I'm gonna go all the way up to the eyebrows with this lighter shade. Okay, so we're just making that base. Super important, it's always awkward on that other hand. Super important why we use that primer, because right now if I didn't, it would be dusting all down below her eyes. Obviously if it does, by the time I get to the darker shade, I'll go in and kind of fix that, but you're just covering up the entire eye with that. Next, you're gonna go in with your crease, your second color, so it's a super dark brown color. Okay, not black, dark brown. And I'm gonna go in, some people are all fancy and they like to like clean their brush and stuff. And I'm just gonna go in to the crease. And I tell you, every time I do this, it looks different. So don't beat yourself up about it if you're not like a makeup artist. Okay, so I'm just trying to just darken that area. So the point of stage makeup is to accentuate what the girls already, what the girls already have in their facial features. Close your eyes again. Okay, so kind of look like I'm doing a half brown, half, I'll have to go in there and fix that. So the crease is just kind of where the eye curls and then where it folds, and then kind of on the outside of the eye. So, and I think putting makeup on yourself is way easier than putting it on other people. You'll see though that, wow, I got a little happy with this. A little happy brown. So I'm gonna go back, close your eyes, Breezy, so everyone can see. Okay, and I'm just gonna make sure that there's enough of a blend there between the lighter color and the darker color. Breeze, hands down. Okay, I just don't want you to bump me.
I'm not.
Okay. Okay, so we're accentuating what she already has. Breezy has eyes. We accentuated them. Okay, next we don't do anything on the bottom as far as liner, but we do a wing. So what that does is also accentuate the eyes. So you're gonna take our NYX liquid eyeliner. The liquid eyeliner just has a way cleaner look to it. And this can be stressful for people applying it. So what I say is just don't hesitate and just go. So Breezy's gonna close her eyes and start on the inside, and you just go right across. Now sometimes it's cold, so I like to touch it a little bit on her before I go in case she flinches. And you're just trying to go all the way out to the edge of the eye and then flip it up a little bit. Okay, keep your eyes closed. When the stage lights are on, you're doing awesome. When the stage lights are on, they can flush out the girls' face. So if they don't have any makeup on, they'll just stay relaxed and just keep your eyes closed. They'll take away kind of a lot of their expression. Another wonderful tip for my fair skinned and hair girlies would be to go in with like a brow brush or a brow liner and darken the brows. Breezy's kind of borderline, like I'd maybe go in and darken over here a tiny bit. But if you have blonde hair and blonde eyebrows, I know it seems silly, but it really accentuates your face. You can see your facial expressions better on stage. Okay, so Breezy, and the other thing is some of the girls, you have to kind of lift up a little bit when you do it, and then when you drop it, it could smudge. So sometimes I'll even hold up her eyebrow a little bit until it dries. I don't know if I'm giving you guys a ton of info here, too much or just enough, but I've never done this before. Okay, so now we're going on the other side. For Breezy, because I know she's gonna flinch when I touch this to her, I start in the middle because I know I can fix a mistake. Okay, close your eyes. Okay. This side got a little thicker than I wanted. You can also blow on their eyes if it's not going well. Get that eyeliner to hang out there. While your dancers hang out here, now is a great time, turn your chin towards my voice, to just look at the eyeliner and go, you know what, this looks good or it doesn't. Breezy, I have one little spot right in here that I just want to fix, so try to just be super still. Awesome. Okay, just hang out there. Okay. If this doesn't go well at this point, especially if you have a younger dancer, it can smudge and ruin the work that you've already done. So like, let's say you did your whole eye and then you start doing the eyeliner and that smudges. Like, this is the most calmest part that you want. As soon as the eyeliner's dry, you're perfect. You don't have to go super crazy on the wings. I'd say wherever the end of the eyebrow is and the end of the eyelashes is, try to only go like 1/3 of the way. So in this, turn your head a little bit to the side. In this area, I went 1/3 of the way. I could probably go a little bit bigger on those, but I'm a little conservative when it comes to our little ones and all this stage makeup. So now that we're done with that, I personally like to save mascara for last. So we're gonna move on to the blush.
Can I open my eyes?
Yes, thank you. I like to use the brush and not what it comes with. This is our old blush. It's the CoverGirl. It works. It's clearly expired. It's like 3 years old. I just ended up having to put way too many coats on to get the look that we wanted. Blush for the stage should be darker than what you would wear for every day. So what you see on my cheeks, that's my everyday wear. Stage needs to be like times 2 or 3. Okay, so for you older girls that are like, ew, old ladies wear blush. Well, you're wearing it because the stage lights will draw you out. Here's our color for this year. So I'll just hold these up since I have everyone in front of me. You can't move that one, I'm talking in. Okay, so here's those 2 colors. So you can see that you would need a lot of this. And plus this is a lower quality makeup. But feel free if you still have this one to use it. I'm not like crazy about rules, just making sure we look as in unison as possible. The other things I've mentioned on the lookbook page as far as other items is that if you need to wear a bra underneath your costume, that the straps have to match the straps that the costume is. So if the costume is a crisscross back, your strap should be a crisscross back. Dancewear Solutions has amazing ones. You can switch out the straps so they match. What I don't want to see is have a dancer with an open back costume and then all these straps going everywhere. So I want everyone to just try their best. Let me unplug my straightener. Try their best to match the straps, clear straps or nude. Underwear, either don't wear any or wear nude colored ones. The body adhesive, I did order a couple. A lot of you guys already have them. The body adhesive is really a game changer, especially for the older girls, keeping their costumes on their bottoms. Also, some feel very secure having it up around their top. So the body adhesive is awesome. The other time I use body adhesive would be for if you have a dancer who wears tights, which is musical theater, and jazz shoes. Those jazz shoes tend to slip on the heel if it's a slippery heel. So I actually put the body adhesive on the back heel on the dancer's tights or on the inside of their shoe before they go on stage. So that's another one. All right, so we're gonna do the blush. Typically, Breezy and I do like a little fish lip, just because I know where my cheeks are, but again, putting makeup on other people is always a little bit more awkward. Okay, we're just accentuating the cheekbones. This is not a high-end brush. Woo, Mama went a little crazy on that. I might have to tone that down a little bit. This side is always weird. I've never actually like used this blush because I kept last year's. So this side I went a little heavy on, so I'm gonna see if I can just smooth that out a little bit. Okay, relax. Let me take a look. Ooh, that is really bright blush. Well, hopefully that'll tone down a little bit. So my advice, this is really high density makeup, I guess, if that's the right term. I went crazy like I did with last year's blush. You definitely do not need to go crazy. You can just lightly brush it and go. I went crazy because I was used to last year's blush. So I'm gonna let that kind of smooth over a little bit on her cheeks, and I might even brush it a little bit and kind of like smooth it out with something because it is a little bit more bold than I was planning. There we go. I am not an expert, but that's better. Okay, so we want everything accentuated on them. You should almost look like a little doll. Okay, now it's time for lashes. So A lot of the girls like to wear the false eyelashes. Now would be the time to put those on. If you're not a false lash gal, because I'm open to either one, I do like to put one curl in my daughter's eyes, just so it just makes her lashes loop up a little bit. If this is scary, just skip it. Breezy and I usually just do one crimp, right?
Just one little one.
Yep. Okay, sit super still. Open your eyes. Maybe we get to keep them open. Look at the screen. Oh, weird, right?
Yeah.
I can't live without my eyelash curler. It's my favorite thing.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, but remember to keep your child smiling.
Yeah, look in the camera. Easy. Yeah, that blush looks better now that Mommy went a little bit crazy on the blush, but that's what we want. We want our attributes in our face. Any mascara, any kind you like, okay? I'd go with black though, okay? I personally like to hold this up as well when I do the mascara, just because if Breezy does blink, I can keep her from like letting her top lashes touch her cheeks.
And I usually say I need a blink.
Yep, she'll tell me when she needs to blink. I don't go too crazy on the lower lashes. I kind of just let that naturally happen. If I get them, I get them. Again, if you're an older dancer, I'm just gonna hold her like this. If you're an older dancer, obviously there isn't a lot of struggle here. You can put mascara and eyeliner on. Okay, don't blink anything crazy. Just be nice and calm with your eyes. Okay. If you blink crazy, then it makes those dots underneath. Okay, there you got one.
This one.
Yeah. So don't look down. You shouldn't look any lower than right here while we're doing those. If you do, because you got these big fluffy cheeks, it makes little dots. So you don't want to look any lower than that camera. That will be super helpful. Okay. Let's do the other side. Usually I'll wait a little bit longer before doing the other side to make sure that one side is totally dry. So if we have a problem on this side, I don't ruin the other side. Oh, just look normal.
I need a blink.
Perfect. Remember, it always feels like I'm going to touch your eye, but I'm not. Okay, now keep your eyes super calm. Don't look any lower than right there. Okay, so she is done except for lips. If I would have remembered, I would have put a little bit of chapstick. She's got a couple dry spots on her lips, but I don't think I have chapstick on me. The other thing, while we're letting her eyes dry, is the comp earrings. So I'm not gonna put them on, but they would also be put on at this point, okay? And then some other things to have in your bag, in my opinion, if your dancer has a skirt, would be static guard. Or if they have something, a wrinkle release sometimes is a good idea. A Tide pen is a good idea. Super glue, needle and thread, safety pins, like you just can't have enough of that. So lip color, our lip color changed this year. Every year CoverGirl and Maybelline and everything, they get new colors every season, so they'll expire. I loved our old colors. I didn't want to change them. Typically we have different colors for every dance. So if you have a outfit that looks better in red, you'd wear red. If you have an outfit that looks better with like a brown, you'd wear brown. If you have an outfit that looks better with pink, you'd wear pink. But because there's a chance that we're gonna have all of our dances back to back, I just figured I'd try to find a color that was cost effective, but also when you look at it with a costume on, it would go with the ones that are more red, more brown. So it's a perfect middle of the road color. This is the Pink Flare by Maybelline. Okay. And what I like about it, it's not one of those hardcore lip stains that stay on all day, because they can just look funny towards the end of the day when you're drinking water and sweating. So you just would want to apply this before you go on stage for every one of your dances. Okay. I'm a lefty, so I gotta get over here. Ooh, Darla. Okay. And then obviously I would have probably done a little bit of chapstick on her beforehand, just because it's the season for that. You don't need any lip liner, anything like that. Again, if you have a color that matches this, do that. Okay, and if you have a student that has any kind of a piercing other than their ears at this point for performances, they'll need to remove it or put a clear one in. If you have any wild colors in your hair, you need to, oops, shouldn't have done that. Oopsies. Don't move, honey. Okay, if you have any wild colors in your hair or planning on it, just hang, just hang. That looks beautiful. Try to avoid wild colors in your hair. Wait till the end of comp season. If it is, make sure it's something that's kind of hidden and underneath. Try to avoid like putting on a bunch of like fake tattoos the night before or 2 nights before. If you're gonna have artificial nails, some of my girls get their nails done, my older girls, try to have them short so you can't see them on the backside just for lifts and stuff. And then make sure you're choosing natural colors, either a super, super light pink or a nude or a French manicure. Otherwise, I want your nails just clean and clear. Nothing on them. You don't have to paint them, but I don't want any polish on your fingers or your toes. So if that is, usually there's a few moms that bring like nail polish remover to the comps just in case we run into one of those snags. The other, speaking of snags, the last one is if you guys wear tights, it would be a good idea to just have a little thing of clear nail polish on you, just to dab if anyone gets a run in their tights. So I feel like that's everything, Breezy. You look really good. Do you want to do like a little close up? Look to the side now. Oh, we got a little bump up there. We got a couple straggle hairs, but again, the ponytail, look to the side. Ponytail's even with the dancer's top of ears. We got it. Okay, thanks everybody for watching, and I hope that this was super helpful, and I hope I didn't talk too fast. Bye.